Welcome back to More Than the Bag. I'm your host, Dr. Kerrie. I'm a serial entrepreneur here in Austin, Texas. I'm a realtor, investor, transformational speaker, and author. And I'm excited to have you here for a video recording. Normally, I just do these behind the scenes and just upload them to Apple and Spotify and iHeartRadio, et cetera, et cetera. But today, I was like, hey, let me do a video and post this on my YouTube as well. But I am called to help women of all ages find their purpose in life by living their true and authentic version of themselves. Because I truly believe that we all deserve to live a full life, a life full of peace, joy, love, and so much fulfillment. So, on More Than the Bag, I take you on this journey to finding your authentic self by chasing the right bag. Your bag is what I like to call your calling or your superpower. And so many people are just chasing whatever is hot right now instead of chasing what they're truly passionate about. And so everyone is born with a gift, and that gift is the key to your purpose. Let me say that again. That gift is the key to your purpose. So let's make a promise to ourselves to never go back to the way we used to live, to the way we used to think. And instead, let's make progress towards our purpose. All right. So before I dive into season 4, episode 3, if you're a newbie to my show, I always tell people if you're a newbie to my show, if you're feeling risque, go ahead and stay. But if not, press pause and go back and listen to seasons 1, 2, and 3 and the first 2 episodes of season 4 before we get into this. But I am calling this episode Find Your Voice. Find your voice. All right. It's so important that you find your voice in this world. I had a friend that actually encouraged me to do this episode. She was like, hey, you are someone I really look up to. You found your voice in this world. Can you please do a podcast episode about finding your voice? So I was like, okay, sure. And God downloaded the message. So we're going to get into this right now, right? So, so many people in today's world, they don't have a voice. They don't have a voice. Some of them have lost their voice through past trauma, past experiences, whatever it may be. Some through work related issues, rude bosses, coworkers, you name it. People have lost their voice that way. And then I've also realized that some people have even lost their voice or actually never even found their voice because of like their childhood. And I'm going to go through just some of the experiences that I kind of dealt with. And y'all know how I do when I am on here. I just speak, I have my notes and stuff in front of me, but it's all about using your experience to help people. And so I remember how I lost my voice, or really did I even have a voice when I think about it sometimes. I remember being in education, and I was a teacher and assistant principal, and some of my day ones, y'all know from past seasons, I've shared just different stories about just life and education and things like that. So I remember when I was an assistant principal and I had my principal that I, reported to, and there was just different things that are happening on campus from, teachers having inappropriate relationships with staff members. Uh, I remember, people, just teachers being on campus that just want to fulfill the student loan requirement so they can get some money off of their student loans. And they really weren't there for the kids. And it was very obvious, right? So, but I also remember just even in leadership in general, we could have did a better job and trying to speak up as a new assistant principal, or maybe even in my second year, really trying to speak up. And it was like, no, we don't want to hear it. Just do your job. All you're supposed to do is just come to work, not have no emotions or no connections, and just get paid. And I never lived my life like that. Like, paycheck was great, I got to pay bills, everybody got to pay bills, but there was so much more that we could have did. So much more we could have did, and it was kind of like, just be quiet, come here, do what you need to do. And I struggled with that. I really struggled to speak up. I struggled to realize, like, figure out why I was even there. And I went through this downward spiral where I ended up, walking away from education altogether in 2021. because God, told me this is what I need to be doing moving forward as a serial entrepreneur. But I can even remember as a child, being afraid and not having the courage to tell my parents what was going on with me getting molested by a family member and what that did to me and the shame that came with me, through that. And it was a lot. It was traumatic. And those are just a couple examples of how either I didn't have the courage or I started to have the courage, but then it was shut down. So some of you may feel the same. You may have different situations that have silenced your voice. So today I want to encourage you. I want to encourage you to dig deep on how you can find your voice and why your voice matters. Because your voice is your strength when you think about it. Your voice is your strength. That's where you get your power from, by speaking up, by speaking positivity over your life. Um, it's how you encourage yourself when life throws any and everything at you, right? It's how you motivate yourself when you're going through a storm. That's how powerful your voice is. Your voice has the power to change things. Like it says in the Bible, and don't quote me because I don't know the scripture exactly, but power is in the tongue, right? What does it say? Life and death is in the tongue, right? Something like that. I told you, I'm not going to quote you or, whatever, but y'all know what I'm talking about, which scripture I'm talking about, okay? But your voice is connected to your mind, right? What you speak over yourself is a direct reflection of how you think of yourself and vice versa. So, why do we speak so much negativity? Why are our thoughts about ourselves so negative? How did we forget how to advocate for ourselves in different segments of life? And so I want to talk to you about the mind to mouth connection and how we have to fix that. The mind to mouth connection or the mouth to mind connection, it all forms together. What we're speaking, how we're thinking, it's all connected. And we have to do a better job of fixing that, fixing what we speak over ourselves, fixing what we speak over other people's lives, how we think about ourselves, the things we're watching, the things we're listening to. That all is in connection, that mind to mouth connection. Because what you think, you start to speak that. So when you start to shift your mindset, you start to change the way you're thinking about things. You're reading different books, right? You're listening to different podcasts. You're not just sitting in front of the TV watching Netflix all the day, all time, all day long, or watching the news all day long, or scrolling on Instagram or Facebook all day long. We have to be mindful over that stuff because what we're feeding in our mind is coming out through our voice. And what we're speaking over our lives is also connected up here. So that mind to mouth connection is powerful. It can make or break you. Honestly, it can make or break you. And I remember just with those situations I mentioned earlier, how broken I was inside because I didn't know how to speak up for myself. So if you're going through something right now, you got to check your mindset and you got to check what you're speaking over yourself. What are you listening to? What are you watching all the time? Who you're surrounding yourself with? That's what finding your voice is all about. You can't find your voice by just only talking to your mom. You can't find your voice by watching Netflix all the time. You can't do that, y'all. You got to be able to make sure you're educating yourself and feeding yourself positivity, right? Affirmations, gratitude, making sure you're waking up in a better mood by going to sleep in a better mood too, right? Prayer, meditation, whatever your go-to is. Or if you don't have one, use some of those. All right? And that leads me to practical tools. Y'all know on pretty much every episode, I'm gonna give you some practical tools that are gonna help you go to a different level in life. And what helped me to be a better person and to truly find my voice. So let me go into a couple practical tools that help me find my voice. And y'all make sure y'all got your journals. I always say journal, get your pen and your notebook, and make sure you're taking down these notes, okay? And you can always pause this, rewind it, whatever you need to do to get these down, all right? But the first thing I realized my voice was weak and I knew how I had to do something to fix it. So that was the first thing, was just the realization that I had dimmed my light. I had dimmed my voice for somebody else because of what someone else said, or because of an experience or past trauma or whatever it may have been. I dimmed myself. I lowered my voice. And I had to realize that my voice isn't supposed to be weak. I should be speaking up for myself. So that was the first thing, was having the realization that I needed to change. The second thing is I had to connect to my power source. And my power source is God. Point blank period. I had to get truly connected with him, reading and understanding who I am and whose I am, and reading those scriptures and dissecting them and understanding the different people that walked around this earth that helped build the kingdom. See, I'm a kingdom builder. I'm not a kingdom destroyer. And the enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy. And my voice, he was taking that away. My joy, he was taking that away. And I had to realize I got to get back connected to God, because he's my power source. He's how I get all of my strength. He's how I keep moving forward when things are thrown at me. He's how I have a better understanding of who I am, and my calling and my purpose. See, we're talking about more than the bag, right? How are you more than the bag if you don't know who you are? If you don't have a voice? How are you more than the bag? How can you be? Think about that. All right. Number 3 is I prayed for a better mind to mouth connection. See, prayer is powerful. Y'all know in the Bible it says when you worry, you need to pray more, right? So when you're going through certain things, you have to ask God, hey, why am I going through this? Help me to have a better understanding of this. And I had to have a better understanding of the mind to mouth connection, or the mouth to mind connection, because of the things that were going on in my life. And when I understood that, I started speaking differently. I started thinking differently. I started reading different things. I started surrounding myself with different people. I started watching different YouTube videos and listening to different podcasts and joining different coaching programs to help elevate me, to help me find who I am, right? Not who my parents wanted me to be, not who my friends wanted me to be, but who I was supposed to be. All right. Number 4, talked and journaled about my doubts and fears with friends and my therapist, right? Some of us have like some truly really good friends, right? Some, maybe you have one, maybe two, whatever it may be. But they got to be trusted friends. And you got to be able to confide in them and hope and pray, they give you some good advice back, right? Especially if they're trusted friends, they should be able to give you some good advice. But I also have my therapist as well. And I talk to my therapist once a week, right? I got a session right after I finish recording this. But you got to be able to talk about your doubts and your fears, because those are real. And that's why they're also connected to your voice, because it's all about what's up here and then what comes out. All right. Number 5, I realized I needed to own my errors. I needed to own my errors, and I realized I needed to own my life, because I had made a lot of mistakes in life. And sometimes some of our past mistakes filter in to who we are and our voice, right? But I also had to own my life and who I am, who I'm called to be, and my dominion and my authority on this earth. When you understand that, you walk different. You talk different. Your presence is just, when you walk into a room, the energy just shifts. When you truly understand who you are and you have your voice and you're not scared to speak up, not just for you, but maybe for the person next to you as well. The next thing that I did, number 6, was I started speaking up by taking baby steps. I didn't just go full force, just speaking up all everywhere I went to, right? It was baby steps. Maybe it was just with family, something was going on with our family, speaking up about certain things. Or in my friendships, speaking up about certain things. At meetings at work, getting the courage to speak up and own who I was, and not worried about what anybody else was trying to say or telling me to be quiet. No, I'm going to speak up. I'm not disrespectful to anybody, but this is what's on my heart and this is what I want to say and share, and so on and so forth. So it was just baby steps. All right. So if you're dealing with that, take baby steps to get to the next level. And then number 7, once I did these things, I slowly began to realize who I was and that my voice mattered. Then I realized that when other people saw me speaking up, that gave them the courage to do the same. I was talking to my one of my friends the other day about a situation I'm going through right now. And she was just like, "You were always just so hopeful, and you just always believe like for what's next." Because I was telling her, I said, the situation I'm going through now, it'll be a podcast episode. I'll be on a stage somewhere speaking about this. She was like, "You're always looking forward, right? Because it's what I speak over myself. It's because of what I believe up here. It's about what I believe in here. Those are the things that have helped me elevate and to change and to be the person that y'all are listening to now, right? Or watching on YouTube. But it was baby steps. All right. So some of you are just waiting to find your voice. And then some of you got to be able to create that. All right. So as I close out, you already know I always give y'all some journal topics to, jot down. So I'm telling y'all, hope you got your journals and stuff, all right? We're not meant to be silent creatures, right? We're meant to build, to speak up, to speak life, to say what we mean, to mean what we say. And so I want to challenge you today to find your voice. I want you to find your voice. Not your mama's voice, not your friend, your voice. All right. So here are a couple journal prompts to write down. First one, it's only 3 today. Why have you silenced your voice? Why have you silenced your voice? Question 2, what past trauma or past life experiences silenced you? So we have to identify where that came from. What situation, what trauma, what experience from our past silenced you? All right. And then question number 3, what steps are you going to take to create or build your voice back up? What steps are you going to take to create or build your voice back up? Because that's really important that we do that. Because some of y'all, like I said at the beginning, either never found your voice or you had a voice and you lost it. All right. And let's go with some affirmations as well, because once we start writing this stuff down and thinking about it, we got to start speaking better. That mind to mouth connection. We got to speak better. So here's some affirmations that I want you to repeat. My voice matters. My voice matters. My voice matters. I am a wonderful being who possesses a unique voice. I am a wonderful being who possesses a unique voice. Mm, I love that unique voice. Because everybody's voice is unique. Everybody's voice is powerful. But when you find it, it's powerful. But you can't just sit there and have a powerful voice if you don't speak up. But I am a wonderful being who possesses a unique voice. I love myself and the sounds that I am making for the world. I love myself and the sounds that I'm making for the world. That's a good one. I will speak life over myself and others. I will speak life over myself and others. So those are just a couple, affirmations that you can speak over yourself. So I want you to get that encouragement, to be inspired to find your voice. And once you find it, don't lose it. Don't let nobody take it from you. Once you find your power, don't lose it. Don't let nobody take it from you. Once you find your encouragement, don't lose it. Don't let nobody take it from you. Once you find your strength, don't lose it. Don't let nobody take it from you. Once you get a better mindset, don't lose it. Don't let nobody take it from you. It's your life. Like I said last episode, your life matters. And so does your voice. But when you lower your voice to please somebody else, or you lower your voice to help because you're following orders from your boss or whoever, that stuff don't matter, y'all. you gotta rethink things. You gotta start speaking differently. You gotta start moving differently. You gotta start removing yourself from different situations. You should surround yourself with people that want to hear you speak up, that want to hear your ideas, that want to see you win, that want to see you flourish in life, that want to see you healed. More than the bag is, you're more than that money that you're chasing. It's your calling. It's your superpower. Go after it with everything in you. Believe like you never did before. Speak up like you never did before. And I'm telling, when you do that, when you can grasp that, when you can hold on to it, when you can own who you are and walk into any room, sit at any table, create your own table, it doesn't matter. When you can do that, y'all just come back and tell me how it feels. I know how it feels, but I still want to hear from y'all, because you're more than the bag. You can find your purpose. You can find your calling. You can be happy. You can realize your life matters. You can realize that your voice matters. You can find it. You can hold on it and never lose it. And no matter where you go, no matter who you're surrounded by, you speak up. You mean what you say. You say what you mean. Your yeses are your yeses. Your no's are your no's. But be encouraged today to find your voice. Be encouraged today to find your voice. All right? Man, I love y'all so much. And I want to make sure y'all understand that More Than a Bag is available on YouTube, iHeart Radio, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. All right? I always want to hear from y'all, so y'all make sure y'all stay anchored with your girl on Instagram at Dr._Kerrie, Dr._Kerrie. And it's the same handle on YouTube. All right. Again, this episode is recorded, the video, but then I'm also going to download, and you're going to be able to hear it on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google, and Apple. I truly hope and I pray, and I say this every episode, but I really do. I truly hope and pray that you learn something powerful today. You don't just listen to this just to listen to it, but you really take notes, you apply them to your life, and you keep on moving. But I'm your host, y'all, Dr. Kerrie, and y'all make sure y'all share this with a family friend, a friend, a co-worker who is ready to roll. And make sure y'all stay anchored with me on YouTube and on Instagram. Leave a review if you can, or a comment. I would love some feedback. I'm excited because I'm going to be doing more of these because I know some people, they want to see it versus just hearing it. So I love y'all so much. Y'all stay anchored. Y'all stay blessed. It's your girl, Dr. Kerrie. I'm out.